What up, everybody? It's Ock the MC. Welcome back to the Willy Bobo Show. Today, we're going to be diving deeper into the headlines that have the internet in a chokehold, the current state of college hoops, and a moment of reflection for Black History Month. So let's get into it. A lot of chatter going around about Jay-Z, Hove being implicated in something called the Epstein Files. First off, let's be real about this, okay? In this era of deep fakes, rapid fire misinformation, we got to look at the receipts. Because this seems to be a spinoff from the ongoing legal battles that the client list rumors, always surrounding those Epstein and Diddy investigations. Well, this is where, the amended lawsuits naming Jay-Z in the past, which his legal team is called provably, demonstratively false, and a shakedown. Because there's no credible, verifiable Epstein Files document linking Jay-Z to any type of criminal activity. It's kind of funny how every time we get close to Donald Trump, somebody else gets implicated. So you have to ask yourself, is this real or is it a distraction? Because honestly, to me, it feels like a complete distraction. Because whenever major political or social shifts happen, the internet loves to throw a legendary name like Hove into the mix to keep us scrolling so your dopamine level doesn't fall. Now, and I really mean until, we see a courtroom document and not just a TikTok thread, take this with a grain of salt. Because this is a classic case of guilt by association in the court of public opinion. That's all. So now you're telling me you want to touch your mic first. All right, we got to pivot. We got to talk about something that's been sitting heavy on my chest, man. Especially as a sports fan and someone who calls San Antonio home now. I've been here over 15 years. We're talking about former New York Yankee, former Texas Ranger, All-Star, Mark Teixeira. So, of course, most of y'all probably remember Tex, as he was named, affectionately named, for the gold gloves, home runs. But today he's playing a different game. He's running for Congress in the 21st District right here in your backyard. And let me tell you, the disappointment is sheer and absolutely utter. Because Teixeira is doing things I never thought in a million years that guy would do. Because we're watching a man who looks like us, comes from a heritage that's felt the sting of exclusion, became the new face of a platform that targets his own people. He's out here fully being endorsed by that punk in the wheelchair up in Austin, Greg Abbott. The same man who said, and I quote, "We're deploying every tool and strategy available to secure the border." So Abbott is praising Teixeira for having the toughness to enforce what they call the America First agenda. Bullshit. Let's call it what it is. Because when Abbott endorses you, he's endorsing the guy who will vote for forced incarceration. He's endorsing the guy who's going to fund the cages. Because Teixeira's own platform says that he wants to, and I'm reading this directly, fully secure the southern border and deport illegal aliens. So tell me, how do you go from being a hero on the diamond to a mouthpiece for pundits who want to control the movement of people as if they are cattle, as if they are property? This is betrayal. It's the ultimate. I got mine. Now I'm going to pull the ladder up. You got Republican pundits and Abbott out here saying Teixeira is the future of the party in Texas. They're using his face to mask the same old racism we saw in so many ways. Herschel Walker, So now they want a Latino face to justify the incarceration of Latino bodies. Tex, I really cheered for you in '09, man. Celebrated World Series. But now, you're standing on a stage with people in our community as a threat to be managed or locked up. You became the face of everything we're fighting against. So now, we see through the jersey, we see the policies, and we see the disappointment. Because this isn't teamwork, this is a sellout. San Antonio, please keep your eyes open. Don't let the pinstripes fool you. Because if you're for the people, you can't be for the people who want to put our brothers and sisters in chains, Mark. We're going to talk about a heavy one because it ties directly into everything that we discuss on this show. Because on the Willy Bobo show, we discuss legacy, we discuss media, and the brand, Willywear, mission of being for the people. You ever seen those images of those young women from the 50s and 60s screaming at the top of their lungs to keep schools segregated, holding up signs for states' rights and clean white schools? It reminds us that those are your grandparents. That is your grandmother in that photo that you've seen in these history books. It reminds us that we don't have to look back to ancient history or foreign lands to find these ideologies. Why am I pointing out that these were women? Because white women are just as ostracized in society as anybody else. If they climb the corporate ladder, they still don't get what they deserve. If they open their mouth, they're told to shut up and be quiet. Go get me a cup of coffee. They can be the best at their job and still get overlooked. Same way that black women do. Same way that black men do. Where I'm going with this is, how can you be a white woman knowing that your own race of men look at you as a second-class citizen who's supposed to be in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant with no opinion whatsoever and no money of your own and be a racist? That's like ignorant motherfuckers having children in families that are racist, i.e., if you have a biracial kid and this white girl decided that she was going to have this child knowing exactly how they feel, but you're going to bring this kid up in that society around those people, knowing how they feel. This is what we've done. This is what we've done. It's a reminder that the people who fought against the civil rights movement didn't just disappear. They stayed. They raised families, and they passed down those worldviews, those ignorant worldviews. These were mothers fermenting their children's minds with this ignorant ideology. Now, when we see these headlines about Trump, Hegseth, Musk, their debates over family values, like they have common audastic nerve to talk about family values or immigration. Oh my God. We have to recognize the historical DNA of these arguments, because states' rights was the buzzword then, and it's still the buzzword now. Wake up, y'all. Wake up. Because we can't get distracted by the noise Jay-Z is making if we aren't looking at the actual system being built around him. It's a constant tug of war. If you want to change the future, you have to be willing to look to the past right in the face, even if it's uncomfortable. Even if it's uncomfortable. It is the most wonderful time of the year. It is conference tournament time. Next month, we're looking at the NCAA tournament, dropping dimes, baby. Yo, coming in at number one, Arizona. Scary, you understand? Absolute lock for the number one seed. Coming in at number two, University of Michigan. Those guys up north. Now, please keep in mind that this list that I'm giving you is probably going to change by Monday. It more than likely has already changed since I last recorded this episode because we do have important games coming up, the most important game of the season. I digress. So, Michigan jumped UConn. Now, they're still the defending champs, and UConn's DNA is never going to change. They got Coach Hurley. I like that coach. He's crazy. That's the way I coach. You got to coach like that, man, because if your team can't feel you, what are we doing here? Duke. It kind of makes me vomit in my mouth to say that word. What up, Duquan? Cameron Boozer. We already know who his dad is. Much better than his brother. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Silky fluid jumper. Great handles. He's a problem in college. So he's playing like the best freshman in the country. One of them. Let me take that back. One of the best freshmen in the country is what he's playing like. Because trust me, the list is absurd. Coming in at number 5, Illinois Fighting Illini. High-octane offense that can beat anybody on a hot night. Coming in at number 6, Gonzaga. Mark Few. Damn good coach. But always has that team that is superlative during the regular season. Incredible during their tournament. Get into the NCAA tournament, get exposed. They play in the West. They play in the Western Conference. West Coast Conference, excuse me. They have St. Joe's, I think, University of San Francisco, of course, where Bill Russell went. There's nobody out there. So once they get into the tournament, you start to see that Gonzaga is not who they look to be initially. Okay? Coming in at number 7, Ohio State. I tell people all the time, there's a couple of places in this country you don't want to go and play. Manhattan, Kansas State. And Iowa State is another one. That's a defensive nightmare for opponents, man. It's an absolute nightmare, and they are fantastic on defense. Coming in at number 8, right here, baby, the Houston Cougars, led by San Antonio's own Kingston Flemings. Watching that guy play is like a throwback player, and I sincerely appreciate his parents and his upbringing in basketball because that kid is toughness personified, and Houston as a team, they will grind you down, but there's a problem. Houston really doesn't have an interior. That's the thing that got them beat last year. We're going to see how this pans out because the Big 12 is actually very good. Nebraska, they tumbled a bit recently. Still a dangerous spoiler type of team. Nebraska, you got to look at like Indiana. Indiana basketball school won the NCAA football championship. Nebraska has an opportunity as a football school who has now turned themselves around to a basketball competitor. We're not going to say powerhouse. A powerhouse lasts more than 5 years. They are a big-time competitor. Michigan State coming in at number 10. Fantastic team who took a major loss on the road recently. That's going to drop them a little bit. But the tournament outlook recently just basically boils down to Arizona being the heavy favorite. Got to keep an eye on Duke. As I said, Cameron Boozer, game changer. He could probably carry a team to the Final Four single-handedly, but that hasn't happened in a very long time.
Yo, what is up, everybody? We are here on the Willy Bobo Show. I'm introducing myself as Nasir Green, and I'd like to give a special shout out to my school, Southwest Preparatory, along with Texas A&M San Antonio campus, and I'd like to give 2 special shout outs to my friends, Caleb and Big Goo. Peace out, y'all.
Now, let's get back to the show. So we're going to look at today's Black History moment, as every day is a Black History moment. 100 years of recognition. So as I recorded this on February the 4th, at that time it was marking a major milestone because we're currently celebrating the 100th anniversary of the first Negro History Week, established by Dr. Carter G. Woodson in 1926. Dr. Woodson famously said if a race, quote, if a race has no history, if it has no worthwhile tradition, it becomes a negligible factor in the thought of the world, end quote. Because, see, he didn't just want a month of celebration. He wanted a total integration of Black history into the American story. Today, we honor his vision by recognizing that Black history isn't just a sidebar, it's the foundation. Thank you for tuning into the Willy Bobo Show this week, guys. Please, if you have a question, if you have a comment, always leave it, like, subscribe. Also, make sure you hit that bell to let you know when the next episode drops. Until next time, for the people. Peace.